My game development journey has been ongoing for quite some time now, and I believe it is time for some changes. If you're new here, On the Wind's Breath is an unconventional indie platformer where you use wind to guide a seed to fertile soil so it can grow into a flower and repeat the seemingly endless cycle. My upload schedule has certainly come to hell. However, the past few months I've picked up a few new skills and ideas that I have soon implemented in my game. I have been mostly focusing on refactoring my code, fixing glitches and issues, and optimizing everything, mostly quality of life changes. I have also further expanded the game's lore. Keep in mind, this is my first big project, so things like code refactoring are a necessity once in a while to implement proper programming techniques. Skipping the boring and time-consuming stuff, which was bug fixing, I've started working on applying more input methods, which includes a possibility of a mobile release. I have finished working on adding the option of controlling the main menu and all UIs using only the keyboard or any common controller. Unfortunately, the Unity input system does not have all the features I needed to implement, so I had to code my own extension. The extension detects in which area of the UI I am, so I can adjust where my selection is accordingly. I also added a feature to find a UI element to click if you pressed anywhere that's not a button using your mouse, to make it possible for a keyboard press to select the proper area when trying to navigate. Next, I coded in some detection so the game knows which input method the player is using. UI work is still confusing to me, I'm pretty new to it, so my next task took me embarrassingly long to complete, but I think it works great now. There were some issues with the way my volume sliders worked in the old version of the game, especially when you did not use a mouse to control them. I was forced to recreate them properly this time. The next problem was that the scroll views did not automatically move when the selected object was outside of the view frustum, which required me to create a custom script for the view area to move along with the selected object. The work I had done was already a lot to handle, but I had just as much ahead of me. I've implemented a way to change the keybinds used to control the player. There are not many controls in the game truthfully, but it's still useful to give the player some variety. For my button icons, I decided to use Kenny's icon pack, at least temporarily. I then had to create a script with a variable for every single key or controller button possible, so I could give each of them a custom texture. As you can imagine, it took a lot of time. I also revamped the text system. It now supports the usage of pauses mid-text and changing text effects throughout the game. I moved away from the approach where the game's narrator teaches you how to play it, due to the fact that it won't make much sense when I implement the lore mechanics. By the way, there's a huge sale going on in the Unity assets right now where you can save up to 50% off of so many assets, and if you use the code September on orders above $60, you'll save extra 10% off. There's also an amazing Unity starter pack for the people who are just starting off their game development journey. The pack contains a lot of very good assets that will help you kickstart your game development process. Anyways, let's get back to the video. About optimization. I moved to a more advanced render pipeline, which allowed me to use more advanced and higher quality post-processing effects at the same resource cost. It required me to change up my entire rendering stack, but thanks to that, it now works better than ever. Testing some levels that required tweaking took me more time than predicted. It takes around 20 to 50 hours per level, and so only half of the levels are perfected at this point of time. Every single level is built except the last one, and they all demand precise tweaks to be perfect. From the small changes, let's just quickly run through them. I have improved my system for achievements, which makes it easier to add more. I started to work on improving and re-adding again Discord rich presents. I designed a couple Easter eggs. I improved some of the texture issues and fixed small bugs related to them, and lastly, I started serious work on lore implementation. And honestly, that would be it for the video. There's many changes I have not included in this one, but all of them are related to unfinished features and additions that may not end up in the final project. And some of the changes are straight up spoilers for the game's lore, which I'd like to keep to myself for now. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.